Hey, it's EG. Welcome to the audio version of the Be Yourself Marketing newsletter. And if you haven't checked out the podcast yet, there are real conversations with entrepreneurs just like you, and they're building on their own terms because your best marketing strategy is the one you were born with. Find it wherever you listen. Now, let's get into the newsletter. 3 small words, 1 big result. There's a weird moment that happens when someone asks what you do. You know what you do. You might even be really good at it. But when you try to explain it, verbal vomit. Your brain scrambles and you start mid-thought, and suddenly you're halfway through a sentence with no idea how to land it. So, what do? Well, you've got about 7 seconds, and somehow you either undersell it, overcomplicate it, or say something so safe it makes the conversation quietly die right in front of you. You see it happen in real time. You know, that slight nod, the polite, oh, that's nice. And just like that, you've lost them. They've mentally checked out. So why this actually matters. When you're standing in front of a person, you can see their reaction and you instantly know if something's landing or not. That's not an option with marketing materials online. Your website or social media post or ad doesn't get to try again. There's no second shot. No chance to clarify. They either get it or they're gone. And that is where we overcorrect. But we also shouldn't try to hit them with all the information either. The same way you want to have Goldilocks goals, your readers want that just right amount of information, enough to lean in and say, tell me more, or to realize it's not a good fit for them and move on. It's actually not a writing problem. So most people think it is a writing issue, but it's not. It's a thinking problem. And until that part's fixed, no amount of quote unquote better copy is going to save you. You're starting with what you do, or your experience, or your skill set. And it's riddled with feature. Basically a list of things you do that you care about. And your reader, they don't know what to do with that. And then there's a so what trap. There's a trick that I heard in a writing masterclass recently. They were breaking down how to turn those features into actual benefits. And the question they kept coming back to was to ask, so what? As in, I help businesses with content strategy. So what? I offer coaching. So what? I build websites. So what? The point they were trying to make was simple. If you can't answer so what clearly, maybe even go a few so what layers deep, your reader isn't going to get it. They're just done. Where most of us get stuck is it breaks down for us, and that so what is a thinking tool, but it's not something that you can actually write down. It stays in your head and never makes it onto the page. So there's a shift that fixes it. Years ago, when I was working with John Benson, he's the guy who invented the video sales letter, FYI. He taught me a slightly different way to do this. Same idea, but this time it actually shows up on the page. So instead of asking, so what, you just write, so you can. And here's why this works. It forces you to finish the thought, not in your head, but on the page. It bridges that gap between what you do or your skills and experience and what that actually does for someone else. That's the game. It's about outcomes and results, not sounding smart, not sounding polished and professional. Getting someone to feel something and understand what's in it for them. That's the part people care about. So what does this look like in real life? I had a conversation with someone recently, a potential client, and they told me, I help businesses with CRM upgrades. Cool, but I had no idea what that actually meant. So they tried again. I help service businesses improve their systems so they can spend more time helping clients instead of wasting time looking for information. Same person, same offer, completely different impact. So you can changes everything. So now you can add 3 words. I help business with content strategies. So you can attract the right clients without wasting money constantly chasing bad leads. I offer one-on-one business coaching. So you can get custom support for your specific problem and finally stop second guessing every decision in your business. I build websites. so you can turn visitors into actual paying customers. That second half, that's where the reader finally sees themselves in what you're saying. Now, the key is to make it sound like you. The so you can, if it doesn't feel natural or if it doesn't grammatically fit what you're writing, that's okay. The goal isn't the specific so you can phrase. And you don't want to keep repeating so you can over and over and over. What you can do is say, in order to, lets you, which helps you, so you're able to, use whatever feels like how you would actually talk, because you're just having that same conversation with words instead of your voice. So why this matters more than it seems. This isn't just about writing better sentences or using clever copywriting tricks. It forces you to answer a deeper question. Why does this matter to them? And if you can't answer that clearly, no amount of quote unquote better wording or tricks can fix it. And here's why most people struggle with this, because it makes you answer that harder question. Why do I actually, who do I want to serve? Why does that matter to them? That means that you have to understand their problems, not in a generic way, but a real way. The kind of answer that usually leads to a story, a moment, an experience, a reason you care. Now, here's where it gets personal for me, because this sits deeper than just marketing. I witnessed the regret my dad had walking away from a career in music, not because he didn't love it, but because it didn't feel practical, safe. That kind of moment sticks with you. It makes you care about helping people build something that actually works without giving up the thing that they wanted in the first place. That's the difference between saying what you do and explaining why it matters, not listing a bunch of services or certifications. So you don't need better words. You don't need to become an A-list copywriter. You don't need to sound more polished and presentable, and you don't need more trendy tactics. You need clearer thinking, because when the thinking is clear, your writing gets a whole lot easier. Now, here's a quick test for you. Take a sentence about what you do or a specific service that you offer. Just one. Add so you can to the end of it. Then try adding it again. Don't worry if it gets messy. See how far you can take it. Push into the deeper benefit that feels just out of reach to your reader. So what am I doing next? I'm starting to build out a few clientless income streams, not just to build them, but to actually show you how that works. And more importantly, I'm going to share what we're creating in a way that people get. It's not, I'm building digital products, but I'm sharing my process so you can learn how to create income without directly working with clients. Same idea, very different impact. So here's the final thought. Use this simple shift in everything, because it works whether you're writing a social media post, a sales page, an offer, or just trying to explain what you do without cringing a little. Try it today. Seriously. Take just one sentence and finish it. You'll feel the difference immediately, and more importantly, so will the person reading it. Make it a great week.